What if right now, in the quiet of your home, World War III began? Nuclear submarines on high alert, soldiers deployed overnight. The third great war of humanity, the war that could end civilization itself. Would anyone survive? Or would it be the last chapter in human history? War has shaped the story of humanity. The First World War was called the War to End All Wars, yet just 2 decades later, World War II erupted, killing more than 70 million people. Now, in the 21st century, the weapons are far more powerful, the nations far more connected, and the stakes unimaginably higher. Welcome to Beyond What If, a channel where imagination collides with reality. Here, we dive deep into the most haunting questions, chilling scenarios, and thought experiments that push the limits of possibility. This is our very first journey together. So if you're fascinated by the unknown, subscribe now and become part of this story from the very beginning. Now, let's step into today's question. What if World War III begins? In this video, we ask, what if World War III begins? Who would fight? What weapons would be unleashed? How would ordinary people like you and me survive, or not survive, in a conflict of global annihilation? World War III wouldn't begin with a grand announcement. It would begin in shadows. Imagine a major cyber attack crippling the US power grid. Planes grounded, hospitals failing, chaos spreading. A naval skirmish in the South China Sea, a missile accident near Ukraine, or a border fight in Kashmir spiraling out of control. One leader pushing too far, another retaliating. History has shown, wars rarely start with intent. They start with mistakes. Within hours, alliances would activate. NATO versus Russia. China against the West, nuclear-armed nations staring each other down. The world holds its breath. If World War III begins, the major players are clear: United States and NATO allies. Advanced air power, 11 aircraft carriers, global military bases. Nuclear triad, land-based missiles, submarines, strategic bombers. Russia, world's largest stockpile of nuclear weapons. Hypersonic missiles capable of bypassing defenses. China's cyber warfare dominance, growing navy, ambition for global influence. India, Pakistan, North Korea, Israel, each capable of triggering regional destruction. Unlike World War II, this war wouldn't be fought with trenches and tanks. It would be drones, AI-guided missiles, satellite attacks, space-based weapons. Wars of information, disinformation, and instant escalation. Within the first 72 hours, the world would feel the impact. Cities bombed: New York, Moscow, Beijing, London, potential targets. Global blackouts, cyber strikes knocking out internet and electricity worldwide. Markets collapse, banks frozen, stock exchanges shut down, food prices skyrocket. Refugees, millions fleeing war zones, borders overwhelmed. For ordinary families, survival means food, water, shelter. Panic buying empties supermarkets. Gas stations run dry. Governments impose martial law. The modern world, built on fragile supply chains, collapses in days. The greatest fear of World War III is not conventional war, but nuclear. If even a fraction of the world's 13,000 nuclear weapons are used, the results are apocalyptic. Immediate death. Cities erased in seconds. Tens of millions vaporized. Fallout. Radiation spreading across continents. Survivors poisoned slowly. Nuclear winter. Smoke and ash block the sun. Global temperatures drop. Crops fail. Billions starve. Scientists estimate a full-scale nuclear exchange could kill 5 billion people, ending modern civilization. World War III wouldn't just be a war between nations. It would be a war against the very survival of humanity. If any society remained, it would not resemble the world we know. Cities in ruins, ghost towns, radiation zones, burned landscapes, new power structures, small local governments, survival groups, military warlords, technology collapse, internet gone, satellites destroyed, global communication broken, daily struggle, clean water more valuable than gold, food guarded like treasure. The survivors of World War III would live in fear, not of bombs falling, but of hunger, disease, and lawless chaos. World War III wouldn't just destroy nations, It would break minds. Children growing up in bunkers, never seeing sunlight. Families torn apart by evacuations. The constant sirens, the fear of another missile. Even if peace were restored, the trauma would last generations. Much like the Holocaust survivors of WW2, but on a scale 1,000 times larger. The answer depends on the scale. A limited war, like India versus Pakistan using tactical nukes, might kill millions but leave civilization intact. A global war between superpowers? Civilization collapses. The Earth itself survives, but humanity may not. Some scientists predict small communities in remote regions, South America, New Zealand, rural Africa, might survive and rebuild. But the world as we know it, skyscrapers, smartphones, global trade, would vanish. So, what if World War III begins? It wouldn't be a war of heroes and glory. It would be the death of cities, the collapse of nations, the near end of humanity itself. The only real way to win World War III is to prevent it from ever happening. And perhaps that is the ultimate what if.